Hey, everybody. Welcome on in this evening. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic week thus far here on this lovely Tuesday night. As you can see, PSA is going to clean and buff your cards. That's right, for $2.99 service there at PSA, you can get your cards buffed, cleaned, and ready to go. But they're not going to use juice and they're not going to use creams. But hey, we're going to find out maybe what they're going to be doing here. I'm kind of interested to know how they're going to be buffing. Are they going to be dry buffing? Are they just taking a rag for $2.99 and going, yeah, she's clean, there you go? Is it going to be fully washed? Are they going to go through and remove debris, fingerprints, scratches? How are you removing light scratches when you, honestly, how do you remove light scratches when you don't use a compound? How are we doing this? And how is that service going to work? I do partially understand the service, so I know PSA is kind of featuring trying to move from being able to buy a raw card from eBay and send it to PSA Vault, and they will grade it in the process, which would make a little bit more sense why we would have the cleaning service that you're looking at for that $2.99. But there's some other things that they're adding into, so it's really, really interesting. We're getting that premium imaging adding on. We're getting in the PSA branded fitted sleeve onto your card inside the slab, and grader's notes. These are all things that some of it has been there before, but now we've got that that cleaning or card cleaning, and I'll tell you exactly what it says right from the PSA website. So card cleaning, a plus $2.99 per card. Cleaning and lightly buffing service to remove fingerprints, smudges, dust, and reduce minor surface scratches prior to grading. So I think the real question is that how are they doing this? Is this going to be just a dry service? I know that they have said in their little comments there on Instagram and other places that they are not. Don't be stupid. These kind of comments have come across, which means to me that in a way they're getting a little bit defensive on what's actually happening and how this is actually going to perform and what they're going to do. So I think some people are calling them out because of the fact that they've made it absolutely clear that they will not allow anybody to use an altering product on the cards that they are going to be grading, but yet they may possibly be adding grading cards. So what are they doing? An altering service? I mean, are they going to go through and remove any like hanging hairs on the edges Are they going to go through and wipe them down, make sure there's no fingerprints? If there's light scratches, are they going to go and buff them out to try and remove those scratches? How far is this cleaning service going to go? So in the direction that they're looking at going and what their overall view is of what their direction is that they want to be in, yes, I think that we're going to be seeing this slowly move over time, where it makes sense that if you are going to buy something from PSA or from eBay and send it directly to PSA to be graded, not come to you first, not go into anybody's hands before them. Yes, the $2.99 per card makes kind of sense why you would have a cleaning service. But the way that that's wording is just very, 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 to me, very controversial the way that they've worded that. And I know a lot of content creators are picking up on this, but I think it's really, really big information to be discussing when you're talking about what's going on in PSA and the validity of a PSA graded card. If they're willing to do an altering service pretty much on their cards in order to be able to do that. And it's just really, really, really dangerous grounds to be going on, in my opinion, when you're talking about a PSA grading service going through and offering these kind of services. Now, there's always two sides to everything. What are they going to do? I don't know. I think that that's going to be really the question when we're talking about it is what is the overall direction that they want to be in? Do they want to start allowing these substances and surface cleanings back again? Because be honest with you, if I'm putting this cleaning surface and there's a minor scratch on my card, are they going to be able to do enough to alter it and keep it really, really smooth or get rid of a minor scratch? Or are they going to, once that they damage the card? So they pay $2.99 for this service, and let's just throw it out there. They damage the card. Then what do you do? What is PSA going to do if they damage this card? Are they going to do standard PSA that they've done in the past? Where, okay, we tried to buff it. Yeah, we jacked it up. Yeah, we know it was a $700 card, but because we jacked it up, we're just going to grade it at a 5 because that's what we do with all your other cards. I've got cards that have been damaged from PSA, got pictures from when they received it to done, and you can see damage on them, and yet they don't take it. They just grade it lower and send it back to you. They don't take it. They don't stop the grading process. They don't like reimburse you the card unless you go through and offer to sign a do not disclose and pretty much a I will not speak badly about PSA contract. You can ask Java Akuma on that. You can ask myself. Those were situations that I've personally ran into with Lugia V that was damaged by PSA. Now I've got another one with that Pikachu from that Pikachu full art from Crown Zenith. The corner is now pulled back, like the paper is actually peeled off on the corner. And I've got a picture from myself. I got a picture from GameStop that show that that was not there when it was shipped out to them. When it comes back, it does. They grade it as a 5. So if they damage your cards with this altering service, and let's be 100% honest, that's what we should call it. It is an altering service. At the end of the day, 100%, when you look at it, they're altering the cards that they are receiving to either A, give them better grades, or B, to remove some of the substances that are, or some of the issues that might be with that card. You're probably using some kind of altering service. So for all we know, they have gone through and partnered up with someone to do this. Did they go up with Mr. Minty and start doing this cleaning solutions? They say no. How are you removing buffs? I don't want them. If I'm paying for a card to get sent in, or if I'm purchasing a PSA card at this point in time, I don't want them to be using a buffer on this with nothing to protect that card. Because if anybody's ever buffed anything or done anything in the mechanical world, doing a buffing with no kind of like lubrication on that is an absolute disaster for that item. So they could cause more damage. So yeah, I'm really kind of interested to see what kind of new issues we might be seeing here in the near future. What kind of things we could see happen to cards from PSA, and how are they going to handle that situations as they kind of roll out, and what's going to be their plan of action if they do cause damage, if there are damage to cards, if there is issues that are coming from these processes. How are they going to handle that, or are they just going to go from a PSA 9 with a minor scratch or a mark on it, and then they're going to go and drop it down to a 5 because they're going to fully damage a card and just play stupid about it, because it's what they do. It's what they've done in the past. So once again, I'm going to read it off for anybody that has not heard about this or seen anything on this. It is going to be a card cleaning service right on the PSA card. It's an add-on service for grading cards. It says cleaning and lightly buffing service to remove fingerprints, smudges, dust, and reduce minor surface scratches prior to grading. How are they removing minor surface scratches? That's the real question. How are they doing that without using some kind of solvent, some kind of something to fill in those cracks and cause, some changes or alterations to that card, and then allow their alterations to go through, but not allow other products to be used to do so? Now, that's the real question. And I don't know if anybody really has the answer at this point in time on how this is going to turn out. I know I can go down the list of content creators right now, from Dan at Catch 'em All Collectibles all the way through to GameStop, GameStop, all the way to Rattle Pokemon talking about that service. I mean, I scroll through my feed right now, and there are just so many small little people's informations on it. Snug Nasty's been doing quite a few comments on that, on what's been going on with it, including using like conversations from PKs. So it's really going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. What's going to happen? Are they going to, people are going to potentially break the cards open and check for, there's got to be a way for us to be able to verify whether or not they use the substance on these cards. Obviously, they're doing it in some way, shape, or form, so there must be a way to do that. And how they do that is really going to be the question when it comes down to the overall performance. So, yeah. That's what we got going on when we talk about the market news right now. Of course, we've had a massive drop at Costco right now, coming out for Surging Spark or Prismatic Evolutions. So we've had a massive dump of products. I know a lot of people are saying that they had 160,000 of these ETBs or ETB bundles that they were doing. And the fact is that a lot of people are like, the 160,000 ETBs in this market is a huge number. You don't think it's going to affect the market, then you're crazy. This is going to be damning to the overall market and performance of I've heard all kinds of things from TikTokers and everybody trying to cause a little bit of concern when it comes down to the investment in these products. But let's go ahead and look at it. Let's look at what the results are actually been of this Costco release on the overall market and performance of this particular ETB. So we're looking at the Costco bundle, I believe was it 1 or 2 ETBs, but regardless, what is the difference? So if anybody in the chat right now, let me put it up. There was I kind of lost track of what it was because I don't have a Costco membership. So it is a Elite Trainer box and a booster bundle. That's what I thought. So it's an Elite Trainer box and a booster bundle 2-pack. So basically you are getting 2 ETBs, 2 booster bundles inside of this pack. And once again, you sit there and look at the numbers on that. Yeah, it seems like a lot. And people were making this big paranoid thing that are going to drop the prismatic evolutions market, that's going to cause major issues in it, that this booster bundle and this prismatic evolutions ETB is going to drop in price heavily. And what has actually been since the release of that, what has been the change in the market? Everybody had to guess. What do you think the changes have been? Have we lost 5%? Have we lost 10%? Has it gone down 25% because of this huge flux of booster ETBs and booster bundles coming into the market? Well, I hate to tell it to you guys, it's been about 1%. We've seen about a 1% drop. We went from about 110.50 to 109.53. So not even 1%. So once again, it just tells you how much product that we're going to need in this market right now to really make a substantial difference in the cost of these particular items. We can sit here and look at the Prismatic Evolutions booster bundle, and it actually has stayed exactly the same. So the price really hasn't changed from May 9th here. Was the last time it increased. It was down to $66 and went up to $67, and now it's down to, for the last 3 weeks, it's been about $65 to $66 currently on TCG Player and on eBay. So it just goes to show how much, even if you have 160,000 of these bundles go out there, you're looking at 200 or 320,000 ETBs, and you're looking at the same amount of booster bundles. That those hitting the market here in the last week has done absolutely nothing to the overall market of Prismatic Evolutions, which is why we continually have been saying that we need to see reprints if you're going to change this market and see a change in the overall market and how this is going to be affected by being able to find product at a reasonable price. How we have to see massive reprints, and I mean massive reprints, in order to make up that difference. So just these little reprints are not going to do it. It's not going to be that easy. We're going to need to see massive reprints from Pokemon to be able to do that. 120,000, 160, whatever you want to call, whatever the number has been put out there for the number of these bundles that have been released. The people that break into websites have said this is what they've got out there. It's not enough. It's still not enough. Even if that was just the online sales and now we're getting them in the store, it's still not enough. That's how much volume you need in order in this hobby to make a change. Doing a standard just release of a product at Costco with thousands, hundreds of thousands of ETBs hitting the floor, hitting the ground, running out, is not affecting the overall market right now. That's how much we need. That tells you how strong this market still is that large reprints, large releases such as that are not going to be enough to overall change that market and drive that price down. We're going to need massive reprints from Pokemon International in order to really have a substantial effect on this overall market. So definitely something to be looking forward to over the next couple weeks as more of these get flushed out, as more of these bundles continue to roll out into the market. Could we still see an effect of it? They've only been releasing online in its stores now for the end of last week and the beginning of this week. So it'll be really interesting to see the overall effects maybe 2 weeks down the road, 3 weeks down the road, if we actually see any variation in the overall price. So that's going to be a really interesting factor as we continue to watch the Prismatic Evolutions release at Costco. How much are we going to need to see? I mean, you could sit there and look at 1512, the effects of the blooming waters coming out. It really didn't affect that market either. So once again, not enough volume. There's just not enough volume in this product to make a difference. And you sit there and you think about it, okay, just logically, let's just pull a really small sample size of what we could be seeing in the United States market right now when you're talking to the number of people that are looking for a particular product. Now we have Pokemon that's had a huge amount of popularity again. We've had a big gain. We also have people who don't really give a shit about Pokemon, who are just giving a crap about money, and that's why they're in this hobby. So they're looking for the money aspect of it. So they really don't care about Pokemon. So we have those people in here as well, along with collectors and everybody else that's in this market. And then we have the fact that we have roughly 318 million people in the United States. So let's just say, in theory, I'm just going to say this as a theoretical number. There's probably no way to prove this, but I think logically, let me know in the comments or the chats if you're in the comment afterwards or chat now. Do you think a logical number of people in Pokemon right now would be, well, let's just say there's 10 million people in 318 million people in the United States. 10 million people are actually here in Pokemon right now, actively participating, selling, trading, holding cards, investing, scalping, whatever you want to say. And you just released 500,000 ETBs. Let's just say, even if I figure the ones that were sold at stores, let's just be completely crazy and say 750,000 ETBs. That is not even one ETB for every person that is looking for prismatic evolutions. I guarantee that out of the 10 million people in here, 7 million of them are looking for prismatic evolutions. So if you were to release a total of 750,000 ETBs, you are not even giving one to every person that is looking for that particular product. If prismatic evolutions was put up in anybody's house, put up at MSRP right now, I don't think there's a single person in Pokemon that would honestly sit there and go, nah, don't want it. I don't want that set. No, that's not going to happen. If you're getting it for that price, you're definitely going to take advantage of that. You're definitely going to see that. And 750,000 ETBs released, 750,000 booster bundles released is not going to be enough to make a considerable change in this overall market. That is not going to be enough to change the course of pricing at a huge level. Pokemon International has got to print millions of boxes to potentially see an overall price. So just something to consider. And we'll see over the next 2 weeks. If it goes down $5 on this, I would be pretty much, that would be the max number I would say that would probably go down, in my opinion, right now for Costco and for the prismatic evolutions. If we see the ETBs lose $5 in value and the booster bundles lose $3 in value, I think that would be about the max amount of downage that we would see because of the release of this at Costco. People think it's going to make a huge difference. People think that this could crush prismatic. I've heard so many different videos, content creators on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Reddit, on YouTube, just absolutely thinking that this Costco release is going to obliterate the prismatic evolutions booster bundle and ETB market. It's just not reasonable. It's not a reasonable change when you got this many people in the hobby looking for product, 500,000 to 1 million boxes, when there's 5 to 10 million people looking for a product, is not going to be enough to change the overall pricing of this particular market. I could be wrong. Could be a complete and total misassessment. We'll know in the next couple weeks if this Costco delivery or release has made any big difference, but I don't feel that that's going to happen. I just don't see it being reasonable for that to occur. So, like I said, we're running a little bit late here tonight on the start, but as I said, during baseball season, I'm kind of going to fly because we got games and I get home, and then as soon as I get home, I start up the lives. So I wanted to make sure that I got on here and I got with you guys here talking about these issues. PSA, once again, it concerns me. I don't like the fact that we might be getting altered cards, and Snug Nasty did a very, very good discussion on it, and I hope he comes into the chat because I know he used to come into our chat quite a bit. But the one thing I didn't like is exactly my worries, is what he said is my exact worries. He's not going to do that service on cards that he wants for himself, but he is going to do that service for cards he's going to sell. So now if you're buying cards on this market, the chances are is that people that have like these high-end or medium grade cards that are looking for maybe $100 to $200 range or above, trying to make sure they get the PSA 10s, are going to do this service because, yeah, $2.99. You go, you pay $18.99 or whatever it is right now for PSA. GameStop's $18.99, $19. But if you go to PSA, I'm sure pricing is a little bit different. You pay the extra $2.99 on that service. You get that service probably on there, and it's almost hopefully giving some of these people some, what I want to say, insurance of getting a PSA 10 or increasing their odds considerably of getting a PSA 10. And if that's the case, are they actually going to do anything to these cards, and they're just charging this price, and they're going to just literally grade the card better because, oh, we cleaned it? Or B, are they going to sit there and have all these chemical cards rolling around that they buffed, used some kind of cleaner on them, and did all this work to alter them at PSA. And then now they're just being sold in the market because, well, I don't want to do it to my collection piece, but I'm willing to do it to your collection piece. That's exactly what the mindset is. It's nothing nasty. No offense to you if you do watch this. But in general, that statement there is part of the problem. And what concerns me the most is the fact that that is going to be the mentality of most people that use that surface is that if I'm in it and I'm looking to try and get like this, my Flareon cards, or if I'm doing my own cards, I'm not going to sit there and send those cards I'm not going to send them into that service. I'm going to keep them for my personal collection. I'm going to keep them clean. I'm going to just get the best cards I can, and we're going to go with it. But if I'm selling the cards, so if I'm going to sell my cards off to someone, I'm going to do that service to maximize my profit on a PSA 10, and I'm going to be selling chemical cards to people just because, hey, why not? They're not mine. I don't care what happens to them. If they get a better grade, it's just more profit margin. So the altering service is going to give them a better profit margin, meaning more of these cards are going to get out there, meaning more and more of these are going to be an issue. So be really interesting to see how this all rolls out, what we see. Maybe somebody will break some open, see if they can find some residue or some kind of testing to be able to find out if they're on there. How are they going to buff them without some kind of lubricant on it? You really can't. How are you going to remove minor scratches without some kind of chemical or something to be able to do that? I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this process. It's really, really confusing to me how this is all going to play out, but I don't like it. I don't like the fact that a grading card company is going to be willing to do that. All right, guys. So first 20 minutes, made it through the rant. Like I said, I want to cover Costco, what we got with Prismatic Evolutions, and that we got these big ETB and the booster bundle releases. And number 2, PSA getting in, and PSA is going to clean and buff your cards for you. Very, very interesting turn of events there. Be really interesting to see how this is going to play out over the next year or so with that service. So let's go to the chat right now. We got PokeNufo exclusive. Thank you so much for dropping in here. Horizon, thank you for being in here. Aldrado, thank you so much for being in here as well. We got Antonio and the Galactic. Thank you guys, everybody, for being in here. PokeNufo exclusive. Let's get right to the chat for you guys. I got a Dark Magneton, and the holo is flawless, but there is a fingerprint on the top right corner. I wonder if it's worth sending it to PSA then, or send it to PSA then grade it. You can't remove the fingerprint yourself. Usually stay away from the holo. Hopefully a fingerprint's not on the holo, because depending on how long it's been there, I've seen the oils actually etch the holos. But if it is just on the actual like top corner, sometimes it'll come off. Sometimes it'll cause an issue too, where the sun, where UV kind of changes that a little bit, and you'll see dark ridges and things on there. So I don't know. You'd have to almost personally, I would try and remove it myself as long as it's on the cardboard. Just get a nice microfiber cloth. That's what I typically use, is a really, really nice microfiber cloth. Really, really soft microfiber cloth, and then slightly clean, not on the holo, but on the actual card itself to see. If it's on the holo, it may have caused damage to the holo depending on how long that fingerprint's been on there already. Horizon, this man is doing the Lord's work. Thank you for your service, brother. I'm waiting for the day to see this guy with thousands in his live chat. It'll happen. I just need to be consistent. And thank you so much, Horizon, for that. Very, very appreciated for all the kind words on that. It used to be bigger, and I stopped doing as much, basically because of the fact that I was busy on TikTok. I was moving business other ways. But to be honest with you, I kind of miss the space, and with the issues on TikTok and stuff, it's actually more fun to kind of focus on here. The community's growing, which is greatly appreciated. I'm going to put out my not so hidden plug, which is, of course, if you guys want to support the channel, a great way to do it is to go and join the membership to the channel right now. We do have our June coupons going up for the next live coming up. So we will have, we're going to do 3% off of any order of any price, or one order a month of any price. So whatever you buy, you'll get 3% off of that per whole order. So that's something we're doing for all of our members. It's something that we're throwing out there for members as appreciation to the channel. So we're giving you some bonuses for definitely supporting the channel here as we move forward. But we used to be bigger. We used to have a lot more action in here, a lot more moving. Used to get thousands of views on videos. And to be 100% honest, it's just that my consistency fell apart. And it's almost, the worst part about YouTube is that once you kind of lose that that wave, and we always call them waves. You got to get a wave, and when you get that wave kind of pushing, you have to keep moving with it. And it's kind of like surfing. The second that you kind of fall off the wave and you lose that movement and that drive, it takes a little bit to get that momentum going again. So even though I'm posting more, I'm putting more content, I'm doing more videos, I'm being more consistent at this point in time, it's going to take months. I mean, it took like 6 months to 8 months to actually get the channel rolling the first time. And it's almost like I'm trying to push that boulder back up the hill again. So it's just going to take some time to get that boulder moving again. But I have good confidence that I can do that. It's just I'm posting shorts, I'm posting consistent content, I'm doing 3 lives a week right now on here. 2 of them are rip and ship. One is just the investment, Pokemon investment discussion and Pokemon market discussion. So definitely hang with me. Hit that like button, helps out a ton in keeping this moving. Horizon said, I have old vintage collections from early Pokemon sets, including first edition Neo Lugia. I'm afraid to send these cards to PSA due to the fears of them damaging or switching my cards out. Am I paranoid? It's so hard to say. I mean, I've had damaged cards. I've never felt that PSA switched out my cards. My bigger concern would be the shipping to get it to them, especially with some of those, like a first edition Neo card. Neo Lugia would be one of those cards I'd be more concerned with the shipping aspect of it just disappearing en route. And, them damaging, of course, it happened. I mean, I haven't sent out millions of cards, and I've had damage to cards. I've had damage to 2 cards. And I think I've graded like a total of like 2,800 cards right now. Probably just over 2,800 cards in the last few years. So in the last 3 years, I've probably created about 2,800 cards. And out of those 2,800 cards, 2 of them have come back damaged with visible damage that was not there when it was sent. So are you paranoid? Not exactly. I mean, the concerns are there. But is it likely? Probably not. It's not. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. But it's definitely out there. But I don't know if I would be too paranoid about it happening very often. It just doesn't seem to. The Galactic says, what's going on? Hoping the market dips again soon so then I can buy booster boxes at a reasonable price. I missed the time when we were selling under MSRP. LOL. Yeah, we just talked about it. We were selling under MSRP even last year. I mean, within the last 12 months. You could have gone and bought Obsidian Flames at the first of the year, at the beginning of 2024. So just over a year ago, beginning of 2024 for $85 to $90. You could have bought Paldean Evolved for around $90. You could have I could have gone to any of my distributors and picked up any booster box I wanted for $92 here just 7 months ago. Twilight Masquerade kind of started that ball rolling. We saw that ball start moving. We started seeing the prices kind of going up then. Surging Sparks, people in YouTube screaming short print, no print, low stock, blah, blah, blah. All the catchphrases when it comes down to trying to shill your product. And it worked through all these different places saying it's like 1 said it, and then 50 said it, and then 100 said it, and then pretty soon everybody thinks it, even though from the distributors I've talked to and speaking to like MJ Holding, it really wasn't short printed. It's been the same consistent amount of product every single set since Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet all the way to today with all the way up to Journey Together. I haven't asked about Destin's Rival at this point in time. I haven't seen an MJ Holding rep or haven't talked to my ACD rep at this point in time to see what their feelings are. But to this point, when it came down to it, the amount of product we got at the store was considerably more on Destin's Rivals. So my feelings is that, yeah, it probably did get more potentially. Was it enough to make a big considerable difference? I don't know. Maybe MJ Holding too, when I saw it at Walmart, was just literally pushing more out because they got caught with their hands in the cookie jar selling it direct on Walmart. And so now they're deciding they better slow their roll on that and move into actually getting it on the shelves where it belongs. I don't know on that. But yeah, I mean, I miss the days. I actually, and I've said it before and I'll say it again on this channel 100% of the time. I made more money last year than I have to this point in this year. My overall profits are down. And it's not because of the fact that the market is great. And people think that because the market is great that you should be making more money. But when you don't have the volume or the quantity, it just doesn't, it's just not as good. I could sell a pack for $1 a pack, but I was selling 10,000 packs a month, I'm making $10,000 profit. If I'm now doing it and I only get $70, I'm only getting 70 sleeve blisters every month or two, and let's just say I get 100 of them. I'm making 100 of them, and I'm selling them at a $5 profit. That's still only $5,000 profit. So even though I am still, and the prices of them have gone up too from distributor, I can't buy them at $285 a booster or a sleeve blister anymore from my LGS or from my distributor. I have to go and pay more. They're usually right now, if I get them from the distributor, usually about $348. So there you go. Lost another 50 cents there. So I mean, there's loss on both ends. Even though I can't sell, even though it's selling for more, I can't sell as much, and that's a big factor for businesses and any part of the Pokemon TCG right now is that if you're a legitimate business, you're buying from distributor, bringing product in from distributor, you don't have the volume. You can't get the volume sales that we used to. So even though the prices are better, there's more sales at higher pricing. We can't get the product to capitalize on that. So it's actually going backwards for us. I'm not selling 10,000 packs a month at $1 a piece. I'm selling maybe 150 packs and making $3 to $4 profit. Thus, my numbers are just way off. I'm not making the profits that I used to. What I can do, and what I have been slightly doing for supplemental is, and I don't want to do too much of, is if I'm trying to keep the business afloat and keep things moving, I go back to Sword and Shield stuff, and I sell Sword and Shield things because that gives me that supplemental income from my long-term holdings that I've been holding for a long time, and now I'm turning that into realized money, so realized gains, so that I can actually support my profits and stuff inside the business, or use that to be able to purchase more things, of course, and building up stock for the shop. If I can get deals and that, doing that kind of things for sure. Pokenufo says, I'm scared to even try to remove it. The fingerprint looks well printed. Yeah, I don't know. Fingerprints suck because it's oil. And once you get oil on them cards for a long period of time, it really depends on how long it's been sitting there and how long it's been hanging out. That will really determine whether or not you'll get that out of there, or if it's going to cause an everlasting mark where you just won't be able to grade that card. For Prismatic, should we be targeting ETBs, PC ETBs, SPCS, or the bundles? ETBs right now would be the number one target. You're not going to be able to get the Pokemon Center exclusive ones for anything less than like $300 right now, I think they are. So realistically, them are probably not something that you should be targeting. $275 right now. So I would not be targeting those Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. You should have targeted them when they first came out on a release date, because you could have gotten them for under $200. Now, do I think they're going to drop back under $200? No, I don't think so. They were already almost up to $330. We've seen a retraction, and now the retraction's starting to go up a little bit on those. So we're kind of past a little bit of an opportunity where you could have gotten them a little lower. But when I say a little lower from today's pricing, it was $275. It was down to $240. So, I mean, you could have gotten them for $30 cheaper here back at the beginning of May. But once again, that's not a reasonable product to go after, in my opinion. I would be looking more at just the regular ETBs, because right now, if you got a Costco membership, start kind of circling around Costco. You could get some opportunities there. Right now, TCG Player, I've just had them on my top 5, products for the rest of the year. Even with this, if we don't see a huge change in this, and you're jumping on them right now, I put that video out specifically with Prismatic because I knew this Costco deal was going through, and I was hoping that this would cause more of a drop. But after hearing the volume and seeing the changes that we have, it's actually going up in price now. So I don't think that that's enough to really make an overall lasting effect on this overall market. So, ETBs, I like the bundles. I know some people hate bundles. I personally like the booster bundles. I think that they're a great compact way to store cards, and realistically, in the future, they're easier to sell because, yes, there's less than an ETB. So ETB may actually, price per pack, you might get a better sale on the booster bundles because they are a little bit lower price, which means more people will buy them. And specialty products, binder collection is one of them that I've been targeting. If I can find binder collection for around MSRP or close to it, I buy binders collections. I think that that's a really good pickup. These Prismatic, like you said, the specialty, the thing right here behind me. So if we're going to go, let me see if we can do it right there. So if you go to that particular product as well, I think that one I would kind of, before I say it, let me pull up the numbers, because I like giving you guys real factual numbers before I just spout off something. So let me pull open where we are currently on that to see, because it's still $222, but it has been on a slow decline right now. It's kind of flattened out here at about 225, but TCG Player is down to 215. I think this will be right around $200 for a little bit, and then as time goes on here over the next few months, I think that this product is going to go up as well. So that might be a product that may not be the worst time. If you want to pick up on a product, that may not be the worst point at this time. I think Prismatic right now for today is actually kind of slowing down a little bit, and the reason being is the uncertainty of, this product coming out is going to be one of the reasons that kind of slowed down the market on Prismatic, because they didn't know how much that would affect the market. Number two, we have the ETBs coming out. The ETBs, of course, people are afraid of how many of those are coming out, and are they going to show up at Walmart's, Targets? Was there a mass printing of this? And Costco isn't the only place that got them. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes they'll show up at other stores here in the next couple weeks as well, right after the Costco release and the booster bundles as well. So we got three products that are really kind of taking a little bit of a hit when it comes down to a little bit of a hit to kind of put people into that back on their heels a little bit. But I don't think that that's going to be a long-term back on their heels. I think it's going to be a soft backing, and then we're going to see acceleration again here through the remainder of the year. Unless they start printing it like Shining Fates, where we start seeing reprints every month that kind of keep people drawing down because they're concerned. I think that you're going to be okay to get into any of these. Even if it does drop down, let's say you buy them at 110 for an ETB, it goes down to 95, 90, buy some more. Like I said in the video, these products are going to do well. It's going to take a monumental change in the hobby at this point in time to not make them do well. So you could definitely buy 10 of them right now at 110. Okay, worst case scenario, they go down to $80 in ETB. Buy 10 more. You cost dollars to average that out. You buy 20 of them. Then you bring that price down, that price per each one down to about 90. You're not far out of the ballpark, and then when it goes back to 110, now you're making money again. So you can play with it. It depends on how much money you want to put into it, and you can do this. I taught cases. You can do it with one. Buy one of the ETBs at 110, goes down to 80. Buy two, buy three. Cost dollar average that out. It's a simple way. It's a really good way, and we do that in our financing. So for my Roth IRA, for a lot of my portfolios and that, we do a lot of cost dollar averaging. I even do that right now with my business. So furnaces and stuff will fluctuate right now with tariff threats and everything else that's happening. I can cost dollar average some of these things, because if I continually buy them as the market moves, so I can sit there and buy them. Okay, I bought furnaces at $1,500 this month because they were, I bought at $1,500 because I needed them. I still moved through them, but I stored a bunch of them because it's getting into the summer, but I want to keep them on hand. Okay, I bought them $1,500. Well, now they dropped down to $1,100 for those furnaces. Well, I'll buy 10 more of them, because I buy 10 more of them, I'm going to drop my price down to $1,300 per furnace, and by winter, they'll go back up, and then I'll have the availability to be able to have that in my shop and be able to charge the current market price. But basically, I'm always just buying them every single month, buying some of them. And it just cost dollar averages you out. So I'm not talking like cost dollar averaging like what you would call on like your 401k, for example. So your 401k, basically, if you have one, is running on cost dollar averaging. And the thought process on a 401k is that every month you put money into that particular account. That account goes and buys certain stocks, whether it's a mutual fund or an index, or if it's individual funds, if they're regressive, whatever you're doing. Basically, they're cost dollar averaging. They're saying, okay, the market over the next few years does continue to go up, but every month we're going to dump in $300 into the stock market. We're going to dump $300 into your 401k investment, and it's going to cost dollar average to where you're making money. And that's exactly what you should be doing as well. If you're looking at the investments in Pokemon, if you're looking for that long-term hold, buy them at different price points, right? If they're at 110 today, so let's just say I'm going to do this as a single individual. You buy one of them right now today at 110. Shipped to your door, it's $110. You get it here. Okay, well, crap. The market went down. It goes down to $80 for Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. Okay, so I'm going to buy 3 of them at $80. So I'm going to do 3 of them at $80. So then you take it. Okay, so now I got $350 invested into this, but the $350 now is over 4 of them. It brings that cost dollar averaging down to $87.50. So basically, when the price goes back to 90 to 100 to 110, cycling across 87.50, you're making money again. You're being profitable again by hitting that number. And it's a really good concept to be looking at. let's just say, stupid as it sounds, goes down. Do you ever see it happening? Me? No. Could it go back to MSRP? And this is a really good way to cost dollar average. But if it goes down to MSRP, you bought one at 110. Okay, I can get them at 55 now. And I go out and for $55, I can sit there and go buy, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll buy 8 of them. I went and bought 8 of them at $55. Why not? Buy 10. Let's just do it. Most people are going to buy a case right at that price. So you got a total of $660 into them for 11 of the units. 11 units, that's $60. You're $5 off by cost dollar averaging. So it's a good way to sometimes get you out of trouble. I've talked about this 3 years ago, battle styles with people. It's definitely a great way to sit there and bolster yourself and give yourself that way out, and especially in hot sets right now. Keep buying, and kind of shifting with that. Let's see. The Galactic asks, a question I had was, how do you get the distribution nowadays? I heard places like Southern Hobby only give priority to brick and mortar stores. With everyone selling online, are requirements changing? So sorry, I was just reading Pika Pika's come through, but you had already be in there. They don't seem like they're necessarily primarily pushing towards brick and mortar as much. I know brick and mortars have been pretty rough as well, just as long with the online, pretty comparable. I currently have distribution through ACD, and I do have through Southern Hobby. Getting into it nowadays is going to be nearly impossible, especially if you're looking for the Pokemon front. If you're starting a brick and mortar, they will give you, so if you're trying to get into one, a brick and mortar is definitely going to give you a leg up to get into one right now, but they're going to make requirements that you purchase so much. So I got into distribution for Pokemon. I went in specifically for Pokemon. So I got into both of them specifically for Pokemon. And basically they have a requirement that, requirements that weren't existent at that point in time, that they actually forced you to buy other products, right? They usually did. But Pokemon was so overwhelmed at that point in time at the beginning of Scarlet and Violet. So in Sword and Shield, I didn't have distribution. The first 6 months of Scarlet and Violet, I did not. My buddy, I have a friend that works at ACD here in Middleton, and he told me that now is the time to get in because they're looking for places to dump product. And when they were looking for places to dump product, I jumped in and I applied to ACD, and they pretty much accepted my application right away. It just as an online sales for Pokemon. And then I went, well, that went really smooth for ACD, and I always like having backups. So then I applied to Southern Hobby, and Southern Hobby was almost like within a week, I had both the distributions all set up. So it wasn't hard at that point in time. Now you're not going to get it. If you want to get into there, you're going to have a brick and mortar. I would think probably your best chances are with a brick and mortar. And what they do is they usually put little contingencies on there too, that you need to buy so much Magic, you need to buy so much Yu-Gi-Oh, you need to buy so much whatever. And that's the only way that you'll be able to get distribution. So basically you're going to say, I'm only going to take 10% Pokemon of my buying right now. They're not going to let you specifically come in and become a Pokemon distributor only. They're going to want you to do like Magic. The way to get into a distributor right now would be saying, I'm coming in for Yu-Gi-Oh, or one of those really slow things, and saying, I want Pokemon access, but I'm going to primarily go for Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z or, Final Fantasy or one of those sets. Because if you go in and say that you want, because they ask you what TCGs you're looking at, and if you just put Pokemon down now, they won't even take you if you're a brick and mortar. So yeah, it's really changing, and it really changes based on the market and the product availability when it comes down to these for the products themselves. So as product availability becomes better in the future, when it does hopefully becomes better in the future, they'll take more on, and they'll take it based on the number of sales that they're having. Appreciate the detailed response and explanation. You're right. I try to be very detailed so that way you get a really good idea on what's going on. Pika Pika, hey all. Hey Andy, here to support. Thank you so much, Pika Pika. Glad to have you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. We got, do you think people are holding more during SV and it will impact the availability to sell it in the future? See, we have this conversation every single time there's a boom. It happens. I know people that were in it in 2016. They said the exact same thing. More people are holding XY XY products than ever before. It's going to affect the market futuristically. There won't be any money. We heard it in Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is that we got people with warehouses full of Sword and Shield. The price is going to tank. Don't buy it. It's going to... Look at the price of a booster box of almost anything in Sword and Shield right now. I mean, if you were to buy it at the almost the lows, and if you would have bought it even at MSRP for a lot of the later sets with the alternate art sets, this doesn't ever pan out. There's two situations that you're always going to run into when it comes down to people holding for long-term investment. And the fact of the matter is that people don't have patience. They don't. They really don't. They sell too early. They sell it fast. They sit there and they open all the time. They continually go, well, I got a booster box for my birthday. I'm going to open one. Oh, we got, my son's birthday. We're going to open one. Oh, my friend's birthday's coming up. He wants to buy a pack. So he sells a pack to him at whatever over sales price he did. The fact of the matter is that most people don't have the conviction to sit there and actually hold Pokemon investments for a long period of times. So even though people are really stocking up right now, you know of a lot of people that are. People do have warehouses. You got people like Rudy with just pallets full of it at the end of the day. There are going to be those individuals out there, but number one, Rudy's smart. He's not going to release a whole pallet at a time onto TCG Player because all he's going to do is flood the market on himself. He's going to sell it to his people on his Patreon first, give them first dibs on it, and then second of all, he's going to take that investment and slowly trickle it out on the TCG Player. It's not going to be one of those things that is going to impact futuristically. It's been proven time and time again now that does not happen, that it does not work, that investments are not something that people can hold on to long term, and that people will falter and you'll be able to see prices increase come 3, 5, 10 years. You're going to see it go up in price. Every set has done it. It's just a matter sometimes of just sitting on your hands, waiting and being patient. And learn patience in this. Hide the product from you. Don't open everything that you own. If you have stuff you want to open, make sure you purchase it for opening. Keep it out of your investment funds and do it as a personal fund. So for me, for the business stuff you see behind me, none of that stuff ever gets opened by myself. It's always sold out, and that's what I do. This shelf over here is just like, so this shelf here is like my personal collection. The EV Heroes boxes, just Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes I've got around. The Flareon tins, I just keep them because I enjoy them. The EV, the shiny EV down there, the Radiant EV collection, just stuff I like. I mean, it's my own personal. UPCs are all down on the bottom shelf here. I'm going to move the one that I have right here. There's 3 of them here. There's the Greninja, there's the Terrapogus, and the Prismatic one. I'll move them down here eventually, and then I'll get that all cleaned up. But realistically, if you separate things a little bit, this is my sales stuff. This is stuff I'm opening. Take it out of a personal account, make an investment fund, and just leave that bank account alone. You can have multiple bank accounts, people. I know some people that blows their mind that they can have multiple bank accounts, because some people are like, oh, I got to do it all in one. I have 7 bank accounts. I'll tell you that right now. I have 7 bank accounts just in my personal, and they're all at different banks. They're all different because of the fact that I like to separate things. We have a bank account that we use for vacation. We have a bank account that's our budget bank account where my paycheck goes into and it's strictly used to buy our groceries and keep our everyday food. We have a loan bank account where literally we put all of our loan payments into that bank account and we pay ahead on it so that we build those bank accounts up. I have a business bank account, so I have my like TikTok and all that bank account, and then I have an investment bank account where it's just all my investment stuff. So I use that money just to buy investments long term. I take my business money, I transfer it into that account to continue to build my investment account. But basically, when I sell something out of my investment, it goes into that account for potentially buying more investments. And I also put money into that account to continue to build my investments as well, build my portfolio. So everybody out there needs to hear that right now. You can have multiple bank accounts. It's okay to go out and have multiple bank accounts to be able to manage yourself and do managing properly. I see one thing too. There's 8 people out there. Hit that like button, guys. Help out the like a little, or help out the stream a little bit. Greatly appreciated to do that. If you could just take 1 minute, hit that like button right now and help us out. But yes, just so you know, multiple bank accounts, great way to mitigate money and keep yourself from overspending and getting caught up to where you don't have money in another place. So if you're out of money in this account, you know it, you can't spend anymore, right? So if I'm going to go buy an investment and if I'm looking at it, I'm breaking it down and going, okay, do I have the money? No, I don't. I'm going to have to wait. That investment's going to have to hold, or, I'm going to have to take money out of the business. Is the business account got enough? I got to make sure that I always have this much to be able to pay binder POS. I got to pay for the next set coming up. I got all these bills coming for pre-releases and all these pre-orders and stuff that I have. So I always make sure that account's full. And then if I got overages, I put it in my investing account. It just keeps you kind of honest for what you're doing. Don't mix your personal accounts with your investment accounts. Don't mix your investment accounts with your business accounts. Keep those three separate. If you're, me, I'm a little extreme just because I like everything being separated and knowing what I have for places. But definitely learn to create different boxes, create different buckets to put your money into to be able to manage it correctly. That way, you have to have this much money into your loan. So I've got my car loan and my mortgage. I have to have this much in there minimum. That's the one that you concentrate. When that bucket's full, okay, now I got my now I got my grocery fund. That's full no matter what. My normal spending. My loan one, okay, I fill that one up first. That's full. Now I go and I put it into my business account. Okay, now I'm good where my business account is. Okay, now for my personal, I'm going to go put it into my vacation fund. Okay, I got $400 left every single 2 weeks, and I put that in my vacation fund. That just gives you that availability to be able to isolate it, to keep it safe, make sure you're making your bill payments. It's a really, really good budgeting strategy to be able to be very, very prosperous futuristically and keep those accounts moving. We're going to go back down into the chat here. Pika dollar cost averaging is a way to reduce risk for sure. It's a great way to reduce risk. If you continue just buying into something, so if you believe Prismatic Evolutions is going to be the best set on earth, and you want to concentrate on buying one ETB per month, even at $110, I'm going to buy one ETB per month every month for the next 12 months, or for the next, even if I'm going to buy two, I'm going to buy two per month for the next 10 months. That means you're going to end up with 20 ETBs. You're going to end up with 2 cases worth. You cost dollar average. So if the market goes up or down with these reprints, you're constantly adjusting with that, and you're making yourself so you're paying almost a baseline flat line number that's typically somewhere in the middle of the high and low. So when you're running high and low valleys, it's a great way to get in front of that. I personally do cost dollar averaging a little bit different. I try and just buy high, and if the price, I buy where I think it's safe. So I think at 110 is a good buy, like my video. I think 110 is a great buy for Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. I think it's a very safe number. I don't think it's going to drop far below that. If it does, I'm going to buy more. So I'm going to kind of ride the waves down, and then when it starts coming up, you can ride it up a little bit if you want to, because you're already below your initial purchase. You can just average it out in between there and take advantage of what the market's doing and not be so much concerned about how your performance is going to be, because you can always keep that lower. If it's 110 and it keeps going down in price, your overall cost dollar averaging is going to go up. Buy two. If you were buying one at 110, go buy two at 55. Or if you're buying two at 110 and you're paying 220 and it goes down to 80, buy three. So you can continually keep moving up with that, or keep adjusting with it. Antonio says probably will add more people to distribution when the market goes down. Exactly. That right now you're not going to get in for anything for distribution. It's going to be very hard. You're going to have to go into something like Magic, something that's a little bit more lucrative for the amount of product available in it. You're not going to be able to jump in. A lot of people aren't even getting access to Pokemon right now. So even if you were to go in and try and sneak around to get Pokemon, they're not going to allow you to get access to Pokemon, because a lot of the websites that I'm on can control what access you have, what you can see, and how much of it you can see. Pika, feel bad for the Will exclusive who has to go to every bank and pull. Yeah, well, that's not going to be my problem. Will Executor is not going to be my concern at that point in time. Granted, it's I have it. There's 3 banks that I use. So my business is through one. And then I'm not even counting my actual HVAC business, because then I've got 4 accounts through that as well. Yeah, I mitigate money through bank accounts. I have I've got 4, because I've got payroll. I got payroll. I got payroll savings. I have my regular, just my business checking, and I got business savings. So I've got 4 accounts in the business too. Granted, that's an LLC. So if I get killed or someone takes my ass out and assassinates me, well, next owner will get the rest of that. So my brother will have to deal with that money. That's not a problem. As for the house, yeah, my wife knows where everything's at. She could just go. She's the person who's getting all my shit, so she can just go deal with it and probably curse at me trying to close down all these bank accounts having to prove that I died in probably a horrific and stupid way, and that's probably what's going to happen on that. So, yeah, I kind of do feel bad, but on the other hand, I'm going for ease for me, not for them. Easy for me, not for them. Can't make the inheritors make it too easy to get the money. Don't want to make it easy because then you're a target. You got to make it sure you keep everything spread out. Keep your stuff spread out so they just can't take. They got to work for it when you're gone. Kids are going to be like, Dad was an asshole. He made me go to all these places to get his money. He made me go to 26 places to get my money. It'd be good for him. Builds character. So, all right, guys. Well, we're almost to an hour already. Hard to believe. God, we freaking fly through this sometimes. So we're almost to an hour. You guys got any last questions here as we're getting close to that hour mark and calling it a night here? So if you guys got anything you want to discuss real quick, something now, Pika Pika, hopefully they find all the money. Oh, it's listed. I've got it. My wife has a list. It's in the safe, so she could find it all. She knows where it's at. Then I don't know if that's safe or not, but yeah, you're welcome. So I'm glad I could give you some good info. Once again, make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys are sitting here and see there's 3 likes now. Let's see if we can get that up a little bit. Greatly appreciated. It's all behind him. Yeah, literally. So this is how anal I am about stuff. I literally have a list of all my stuff, and I have a spreadsheet of what she should sell first that's going to give her the most income out of this. my kingdom of cards. There's actually a sell list for how to which ones are worth selling and which ones she should just give to the kids to get rid of. Have you been stacking them? DR booster boxes. DR. Oh, Destin's Rivals? No, actually I didn't. I got one booster box that's down here in my booster box collection. There, I got the Destin's Rivals booster box down there. I have not opened that one. I'm going to keep that sealed. And the ETBs sold out in like 1 hour. I put them up on the website for $79.99. That's what I've been putting all new releases at for ETBs right now, is $79.99, and it literally it sold in like an hour and 10 minutes. They were all gone, but I didn't get a ton. I got 10, so it's not like I got a huge amount of them. So I got 10. I got 2 left, which are, if you guys want to have some fun, we are doing the rip and ships now on YouTube. So I've incorporated coming back to YouTube with the rip and ships. Number 1, build a channel. Number 2, have some fun. We are doing we got the Destin's Rivals here, like the sleeve blisters like this sitting here. There is a total of 59 of them left. There are an opportunity to get prizes inside of there. So there's 2 ETBs that you could get inside of there and 3 sleeve blisters, all for just purchasing those particular. They're a little bit more expensive, but there is an opportunity to make bank with a $95 ETB in there as well. So that's, but my Destin's Rival, I got 1 ETB from ACD. That's all that I got. Otherwise, I did get 3-pack blisters. They ended up, I put in for them. I never got them, and I got them this time. I also got 8 extra sleeve blisters, and I got an actual extra 5 ETBs this time. So I did get a little bit more product this time for Destin's Rival. A little bit more product. Not anything to write home about. Pika Pika, I'm thinking taking the kids with selling the seal to get money and their down payment in the future. Ella, tasking. Yep, okay. Yeah, and that's kind of what I kind of figured. Jacob knows what's valuable in here. I mean, he does enough with me anyways in the business side in the back. He knows where the money's at. He knows that there's binders up here on the shelf that are just absolutely loaded with vintage cards, with, Illustrator rares. I mean, I got, 4 Lugias up there. Yeah, I got 3 Tinas. There's a bunch of money in cards sitting up there right now, and Jacob knows all the value of those. The sealed product, I've got that kind of listed out that, if anything happens to me, I've got like this box down here that's like, what is there, 100, or there's 250 or 250 booster packs of Evolving Skies. I mean, there's all these Sword and Shield products and Sun and Moon products in this box here. I told my wife, list all them things or take them to a card show and you'll make big money on those. Make sure that, I update the list, trying to make sure I told her where to go to get the value on them. So, yeah. I just got my rip and ship from last week's show. Thanks for the EX since I didn't get a hit. Appreciate it. You're welcome. No, I try to make sure that if you buy a few packs that you at least get something. I'm one of the guys that I do not want you going home empty-handed. I definitely do my darndest to make sure that you get something at least. So I believe Galactic, I think you bought what, 2 packs or 3 packs? Usually if someone buys 3 packs or 4 packs from me, I automatically throw in an EX, even if they don't hit, just to get you something. I mean, I don't want you going home empty-handed. I want you to enjoy yourself. Point of it is to have enjoyment for you as well. So I do try and bolster that a little bit for you guys as well. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys check that out. Check out the lives. You can sit down. We talk about Pokemon on there too. We talk about whatever. Antonio sometimes is talking about the market. Antonio joins me at almost every live, which is greatly appreciated. And he likes to bring up market talk and things like that. So we definitely do have those conversations on the lives. It's not like we just rip and ship. We have some fun. We discuss other things. We try and have fun on the lives too. So we do have, also, we got 151 tins. Those are available at NorthwoodsTCG.com. They are all separated out, so we do have them out there available as well. They're all the same price. So if there are the more expensive, like Gengar ones, are the same price as the, all of them right down the line. But yeah, those are available and singled out on NorthwoodsTCG.com. We got the Zapdos EX boxes. Those came from distributor. They had them available. I did purchase some of those. So we do have a few products that are showing up. Some 3-pack blisters. Stellar Crown, I got some 3-pack blisters. Destin's Rivals right now, 3-pack blisters are available on NorthwoodsTCG.com as well. So we do have a list of products that are kind of showing up. I've been getting some product in available, just small quantities. So if you are looking for those kind of things, make sure you guys check out the shop as well. Not to put a shameless pitch in here, but NorthwoodsTCG.com is up and running. And it's I try to keep everything reasonable. I'm usually under market value on most of the stuff. Some of it I am right at market, but most of it is slightly under, like TCG player pricing and that. I'm not trying to kill it. I'm just trying to make sure that we cover the costs and keep the lights on. That's the main goal. So hopefully that helps you guys out here tonight. Like I said, greatly appreciated for everybody. It's been like dealing with me being a little bit late. It's greatly appreciated. We are live on Friday and Sunday. I am at 9 o'clock on those days. I hit 9 o'clock right on the head just because I don't have baseball those nights. So I'm capable of getting here and getting started up and being here and ready to rock and roll. So once again, thank you everybody that's joined in. Hit that like button before you leave. Hopefully if you're new here, you hit that subscribe, join the membership to the channel too. Great way to support it. And also check out down below too. We do have the merch. So if you just want a good hoodie or you want a nice t-shirt, nice comfortable fabric t-shirt, check out the link for that as well down below. Otherwise, we hope to see you next time. We'll be live again on Tuesday here around 9:30, 9:45 after the game. We will be live here for just our normal Pokemon talk here as always. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. Hopefully get to see you guys on Friday. We hope to see you next time here on Northwoods.